And we welcome you back to Memorial Stadium here at Vicksburg High School as the Gators get set to take on the Callaway Chargers. Glad you can join us here on this Friday night. Down the stretch we come. Coach Lacey, I can't believe this season is, we've only got 3 more games left.
3 games.
I mean, I remember the Jamboree down in Bay Springs like it was yesterday. And already the season, we're down the stretch, 3 games left. Gators trying to make a push to make the playoffs. You got Callaway coming up, and then you got to go to Columbus and then Ridgeland. Down the stretch we come. The Gators trying to put themselves in position. Charles Edmond, head coach Chris Lacey, TJ Mayfield. We'll have the play-by-play action coming up. Coach, got to try to put that Warren Central game behind us. Just got to move forward. But it was such a great football game. That was one of the better games that I've seen in high school football. You've seen many a Vicksburg Warren Central game. Where does that game rank for you in terms of the intensity, just the action coming down to the final play of the game?
It was. I put it up in the top 5, top 3 because you could tell both teams were prepared. I think the kids squeezed all the lemon out of their juice with effort. Coaches coached hard. It was just a good environment. It's one of the more packed games I've been a part of since I've been here at Vicksburg. And it was fun. A lot of people think more on the wins and losses. Yeah, I want to win, but it was fun. At the end of the day, you could tell it was fun. It was a lot of emotion. So you can't replace, just the way that game was played.
They left it all on the field, and as a coach, that's all you could ask for.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I told them after the game, I can't complain about your effort. I know they were locked in, and they did the best they could do effort-wise, but, we still got to clean up the mistakes, which ultimately caused us to put ourselves in a bad position in the game.
Obviously, a couple of things. 16 penalties. Got to continue to work through that.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just more, like I say, I know it's like beating a dead horse, but it's just a discipline thing, man. It's just a attention to detail thing and trusting what you taught as a player and actually doing it, And that's something that, I'm going to continue to teach, but that's something the kids got to continue to grasp and take the teaching in order for them to be successful.
And then obviously, I mean, what is it about? This may be one of the better years I've seen in terms of kickers just making field goals and just, you just don't think, and of course you give kickers credit, making clutch kicks and clutch situations. We saw that in the Showburn. We saw that last Friday.
Those kids, done a great job. And it's crazy because those kids from the Showburn were pretty resilient because, they missed some. Kid get a block kick. I think Kevin Warren Central actually missed one, and then from the shoulder, it was the same type of deal. He missed 2 and came back and made it when it counted. So, my hats go off to them kids. I'm all for kids. I know that's what they prepare for. That's what they work on in their off seasons and things, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Special teams, we got a block there, Coach, and got that for a score. So we were able to make something happen there on special teams.
And I told them during the week, y'all, Warren Central has a really good defense. And I've never not thought that we didn't have a really good defense. We just had to put some things together. So I knew it would probably be a struggle for both our offenses, when you're just playing against really good defenses. So it was going to come down to that other phase of the game, who was going to do the best in that game. And I mean, Warren Central won that portion of it with the punt block they had, with the way that they kicked the ball, even the way that they punted the ball. They put us in some difficult situations on having to play a long field. So, just shout out to them, for doing that,
And watching Warren Central here and there, I don't watch them every week, obviously, and you look at the scores, and Coach Morgan it's kind of a grind every week with them. They seem to just make enough plays. They had the hook and ladder play that we had them backed up. I mean, it's just, they seem to find a play here, a play there to get them back on level. But I thought we had them backed up. Thought we had them behind the chains. I really thought we had them against the ropes a number of times.
Same situation 2 weeks in a row. We had the same deal with Neshoba, where we scored, we're up, they backed up, and we let them drive down the field and kick a field goal. So it's just something that we have to lock in on and be more detailed and have more attention to the situation and what's happening. And like I said, I got a lot of young kids. I'm not making that an excuse, but since the Red Carpet Bowl up until now, my young guys are learning more football, and you could tell by the improvement we done made. So I'm pleased with the way that they've attacked the attention to try to come back and get better, but it's still no excuse. We gotta, what's important now, I always tell them, win is what's important now. So you gotta kind of give it some more time and lock in.
I was able to look at the game's final play, the interception, and I saw the video that Cedric shot from that part of the field. Was it me, or was that, even though Tata was doubled, the Corey Knight, and in the video, the Corey Knight running across with the play, was he wide open on that play?
Wide open, running, just gotta, again, the progression, the attention to detail, doing what you're coached to do. You gotta do your job. You gotta be able to execute the plays the way they're supposed to be executed. Don't put yourself in a position where you make it harder than what it's supposed to be. Understanding the situation. A lot of times I try not to explain to the world on what's supposed to happen or what could have happened, but we could have executed that situation a little better. I put that on us as coaches because it's our job to teach the kids what's supposed to happen. So, like I said, I'll just put that on me. Me and Ronnie looked at the film. We talked about it, and hopefully he learned from it, and he make the smarter decision next time for us.
Yeah. Henderson was double teamed in that far corner. It was deflected in the air. It just so happens it was picked off, but the Corey Knight was open.
Yeah, it's not in those situations, it's like the Michael Jordan deal to me. In clear situations, I'm always get a ball to the best player. So if Michael Jordan could be triple team and you didn't see him make plays. Randy Moss been triple team, you seen him make plays. If you look at that play, the ball hit Tata in the hands, it just slipped out. So he had a shot for it. We just didn't make the play. The smart thing to do would have been to just dump it out to DeCoy, him get out of bounds. Even the situation with Sid Blackmore, Sid has done a great job of kicking extra points for us this year. But, it's a difference between a kid that can kick and a kid that's a kicker. So Sid gives me 100% of what he can do, but I wasn't finna put the weight on the world on a kid to kick a 47-yard field goal in the Vicksburg Warren Central game. And, my job was to get him closer where he could be more confident in making that kick. And, just being honest, we dumped the ball off to such and such. He picked up a couple yards, we in position, kick the field goal, we win the game. So it's just execution is what has to happen more.
Speaking of kicking, one of the late touchdowns that you had, you chose to go for two instead of kicking the PAT. Talk about that situation.
I'm playing to win. I'm playing to win. I'm not, me studying the Vicksburg Warren Central game. A lot of times, Vicksburg, nothing against other coaches, but people have played with their hands up under their laps. And I'm not afraid of nobody, so we're not playing to lose. Warren Central had 39 yards of offense and 1 first down in the first half. They couldn't move the ball on us. They couldn't score. So my mindset was if we go up, they have to score. And I know they got a really good field goal kicker, so I didn't want to put it in his hands to win the game. I want this freshman quarterback to try to beat me. And that's what I was playing for. And we didn't execute. We didn't work out like that. And then they ended up getting what I didn't want them to have. So that's how we ended up losing it. So, but I'm going to play to win, And the kids weren't nobody mad about it. Everybody knew what the game plan was. We talked about it that week, going into the game, I'm playing to win. Because I kicked it earlier, in the game. We said, kick the field goal. We make it, we don't make it, like that. But at that point, I was like, nah, this is going to be the night where we got to try to, win this game. So that's what I tried.
So you play to win and play not to lose.
Not to lose. That's not what I was doing. I was trying to win that football game. And, I wanted them to know. And I felt that they felt that too. They're over there playing to win. So I don't regret no decision. We just got to learn from it. The biggest reason we played a terrible game was penalties. Yeah. You cannot beat anybody 16 penalties for 121 yards. The New England Patriots ain't beating nobody doing that. So we just got to clean up on it.
What was the conversation of course, Coach Morgan, well, he said the game is different, this rivalry is different. He was quoted as being, quote, different, unique. And that's the kind of game it was last Friday. Yeah. It was different, it was unique, it was crazy. You can feel the tension. It's just one of those atmospheres, one of those games.
Right. Coach, I love Coach. Coach told me after the game, he pulled me to the side. We had a conversation with each other about some stuff. And, he just let me know, keep going, proud of me, and just, he sees it. and he understands it. And, anything I needed from him, just let him know. But he was proud of the way we played, and, hopefully we can do it again in November.
Just kind of hate that game. I mean, with the realignment, you just hate that this was a district game. I mean, it would have been a great game for the second week of the season, maybe even at the end, but for it to be such high stakes, for them, they control the district. For us, it's kind of getting into the playoffs. So you just kind of hate that two schools just a few miles away. You really hate it, but that's the deal. And now we got to get ready for a Callaway team that's 4-4 and 2-0 in the district. So now the numbers game here, the math has to add up here, Coach. So you got 3 games left, 2 at home. You got Ridgeland at the end, and you got this game here against Callaway. You go to Columbus next week. So we know what's at stake. So let's talk about this Callaway team, Coach. 4-4, 2-0. They've won 2 straight. They beat Columbus and Ridgeland. You got Marvin Moore, 1,000 yards passing and 9 touchdowns. You got Cantrell Thomas Jr. with 600 yards and 4 touchdowns. What is about this Callaway team we got to look at?
Same Callaway team I've been seeing since I've been in Vicksburg. Athletic, fast, big, explosive. So, and they run to the ball well on defense. So it's one of them games where all the stuff I talked about from the Vicksburg Warren Central game, it'll bite you in the butt, kind of like Natchez and Holmes County and teams like that, and Terry, because they got the athletes. They can create explosives. I think the receiver going to Ole Miss, last year he didn't play in the first game we played him, and then the second game we played him, he came out and caught 2 touchdowns on JD, who was a pretty good corner. So we got our work cut out for us with them Friday. Looking at the numbers, I actually think they are number 1 in the district based on something. But, they're going to come in like a number 1 seed. They playing for something. Plus, we beat them last year twice, so I know they got a chip on their shoulder coming into the game. So the challenge don't stop. I mean, you mentioned, the district. That's what I wanted coming to Vicksburg. That's what I'm used to growing up in this city where every Friday night for Vicksburg or Warren Central is almost a championship game. It's almost like being kind of like in the SEC. You can't sleep on nobody. I mean, Vanderbilt scored on Georgia this weekend twice at the beginning of the game. And, Kirby told him at the beginning of the week, this is the SEC. Like, just because they Vanderbilt don't mean this won't happen. So them the type of games I want. I want the games where on Friday night it's always a competitive game for the kids. That's the only way to get better. So it's going to be exciting to go out there and play them Friday. And my kids know it's at stake. We got to win 3 straight to be able to get back in the playoffs the way we're supposed to and do it. And, I mean, we're not your typical 3 seed if we go in that way, in my opinion. We done lost to the 2 best teams in the district by 1 point and could have won them. So in my eyes, we the same team that played the North State Championship last year. So we just got to play that way. I mean, I'm confident.
We talked about that Vicksburg-Warren Central rivalry, how it just lingers throughout the whole year. It's talked about every day in the last 7 days. Someone has talked to me about that. Man, that was a tough game. Vicksburg-Warren Central every day for the last week, and it's probably going to be that way for the next 12 months.
Right.
But you got to flush that game out. It's behind you. You got other goals in front of you. You're trying to make the playoffs. So how are you able to flush that game out as quickly as you can? For your kids, it's getting talked about and will be, but how do you flush it out, try to do the best you can to put it in the back of their mirror, knowing what's ahead of you?
Well, I explained to them, I said, if it's all about winning. So win is what's important now. What's important is, like, in order for us to get in the playoffs, you got to win these next 3. And it starts with Callaway on Friday, and they're not going to be no pushover because they want revenge back from last year, and they feel like they can play with you, and they coming in that way. If you want Warren Central again, Warren Central's a really good team. You got an opportunity to play Warren Central in the playoffs again if you do what you're supposed to do. So they know what's at stake with handling their business. And a lot of that I put on me because, like I told them, I put too much emphasis on winning the district championship, winning the Red Carpet Bowl, beating Warren Central. That was my mistake. That ain't what championship programs do. Championship programs got one goal, and that's to win the state title. And regardless of everything that went on, you still have an opportunity to be state champs. And you're capable of winning the state championship. And if you win a state championship, nobody cares about the Red Carpet Bowl. Nobody cares about losing to Warren. Nobody cares who won district. You have an opportunity to still be state champs So that's what we need to wrap our mind around. What is going to allow us to be state champs?
Yeah.
And that's what we're fighting for right now, and that's what we're trying to go get.
You know, one of the impressive things I saw on social media after the game, there was a picture with your players and some of Warren Central's players, and the caption was, they've been playing together since they were 10 years old. Just to come, as intense as the rivalry is around here, and I'm learning a lot that I don't know, but I thought that picture was really, really classy for those young men that were in that picture. The fact they've been playing together since they were 10 years old, and to come together to take that snapshot, I thought was pretty neat.
Right. I mean, and sometimes people get out of the way and take it for complicate the situation for the kids. At the end of the day, those kids are friends. They play in the game where they're competing against each other, and they all got one common goal: to win and try to get state titles and go to college, get offers, and that's what they're trying to do. It's cool, we got the rivalry and everything like that, but a lot of times we put too much emphasis on that particular rivalry. And I explain it to my kids like, yes, we want to beat Warren Central. We want to be the top team in the city, but that's not my ultimate goal. I want to win state championships. You know, we want to be considered with the West Points and the Tupelos and the Oak Groves and the people like that. So we can't do that if all we focus on is Warren Central at the beginning of the year. You know, it's just a part of it. You know, Nick Saban ain't just sitting here thinking about the SEC championship. He is who he is because he winning national titles. So that's the type of program we trying to be here at Vicksburg, and we're not doing a good job right now of showing that that's what we want. So that's what our focus is.
Well, how important is it to get back on track? I mean, this is it. The Jamboree, the tough start, the grind, the Terrys, the Natchez, all the learning experiences from all those, everything. It comes down, really the playoffs start tonight.
And that's it's a good thing and it's a bad thing because, you know, if you lose, you're out. But you don't have any gray area to take a day off. So that's good for the kids because now they got to lock in every week. Nobody can get treated like they a small fry or anything like that. In order for us to reach the goal that we're trying to reach, we got to win 6 straight. And it's a possibility. It is possible. We win 6 straight, we where we want to be. We win 3 straight, we in the playoffs. So they understand what's going on. And then we talk about seasons. Like we're in a season right now where we have to try to get in the playoffs. When this is over with and we pull off these next 3, everybody start off 0-0 going into the playoffs. So, you know, let's lock in. And you got to understand that you're not the typical 3 or 4th seed. You know, somebody who's a 1 seed, if they know anything about football, they not going to want to play you first. So that's how you got to kind of think about it.
Coach, we appreciate it. Let's get back on track.
Yes, sir.
That's Vicksburg High Coach Chris Lacey here. Big one here. You might as well say the playoffs start tonight for the Gators as they take on Callaway. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with the kickoff here from Memorial Stadium.